Very important series here for Cincinnati's defense with field position, a nice punt to work and to try to get it back to their offense with decent field position for them to work with. And for West Virginia, their offense, mixing it around and just finishing some plays. They've really stopped themselves more than Cincinnati stopped them.
It gets them 5, second and 5, inside the final minute of the first. And again, White calls on Schmidt. Look at that pile move forward up to the 20. It'll be 3rd and 1. Anthony Williams. Most teams would be one of the younger defenders. As a sophomore, he's a graybeard here in Cincinnati. Schmidt, likewise a sophomore, and a walk-on transfer from Division III Wisconsin River Falls. Sat out last year, worked his way steadily up the depth chart to the point where he's become a crowd favorite, kind of a symbol of the program Rich Rodriguez has built. Now it's Slayton for the first down to the 25. 4 seconds still on the clock. Steve Slayton getting about 6 yards per carry here in the first quarter, and the only points of the game. That ends the first. West Virginia looking to go 5-0 in the Big East and get Rich Rodriguez into a New Year's Bowl for the 3rd straight year. They're up 7-0. Back for the second quarter at Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. Dave Barnett, Craig James, and Holly Rose. 7-0 West Virginia. They start the second quarter with a first down on their own 25-yard line.
A lot of yards there by West Virginia. Pretty close on time of possession. Cincinnati just hasn't had the big play yet.
Mountaineers averaging almost 6 yards per play. White turns it upfield in a foot race, dragged down at the 41 of the Bearcats. 34 yards. Dominic Ross prevents a touchdown.
You know, for a big play like this to happen, it's a designed quarterback run, no question about it. But the thing that catches my eye here is the fact that all of West Virginia's white jerseys find a black shirt. You notice everybody's down. White jersey with a black jersey, and so that allows Pat White the freedom to get down the field.
First down, West Virginia at the 41 of the Bearcats. And it's Slayton for a hard-fought couple. Steve Slayton from Levittown, Pennsylvania, for his 6th touchdown performance against Louisville. USA Today National Player of the Week. So many of these West Virginia players, 2 months ago when their season was just getting underway, people would maybe have seen a flash here or there. Now they've got a sense of just how much talent, how much young talent has been assembled here, and some lights have gone out here. In fact, only the emergency banks are still on. A little power failure at Nippert Stadium.
Hello, man.
So what we're able to see here, strictly because of the generators and what they've kicked in on the automatic system, the main lights on the far side have all gone out.
Well, you know what? It's that time of the year that you know, maybe the money hasn't come in quite yet for the second semester from all the tuition.
Part of the varsity village. They've sunk a lot of money and effort in. It will be completed next March.
This is a great place, though. I'm the first time I've been here. This is really a neat environment, and they put some money into these facilities. And you know, and one of the things Rich Rodriguez was talking about when he was down on the field before the game was the fact that he's proud and happy for the Big East, because the Big East, the schools have invested the money for the facilities like this to recruit the top players. And if you get those players into the Big East, regardless of where it's at, the Big East needs good football players. And Cincinnati's facilities here, this campus, this stadium, I mean, it's top shelf.
Well, if you look where their recruiting grounds are, Cincinnati can stay right here and get a huge chunk of their class every year. Pittsburgh can do the same. West Virginia now pretty much has established a national recruiting program up and down the East especially. So they lost major programs, but they brought in promising programs. Not a program that's at the level of a Miami or Virginia Tech yet. But what Mark D'Antonio may have going with this program in 3, 4, 5 years is there's really very little limit, he thinks, to what he can get established here.
And not sure exactly, but it's soon. Coach Rodriguez and his staff are going to take off, and they're all going down to the state of Florida.
At 13 quarters.
Let me say, hey, roll Tide with that defense. They can play defense.
So after 10 minutes, back to play now, and a second down and 6 for West Virginia. White rolling left, and has a man. Miles inside the 5. First and goal. Second long. White to Miles connection here in the first half. This one good for 32.
Well, so much for not being able to see the football. You know, Rich talking about not being able to see. He can run the football, so he goes out and throws it up on the first play. But it's nice execution of Pat White going and stretching. Schmidt's in the flat, and you got the deep ball down the field. So West Virginia offense, again, executing with the pass.
Much more of a run-oriented spread this year, but the pass still a dangerous weapon. And cutting it back, diving at the goal line, coughing it up. He was down, no fumble, and also no touchdown for Steve Slayton. Inches shy.
Nice call, too, there by the official. The ball caused the ball, the ground caused the ball to come out, and that is not a fumble.
1 yard line.
Up in the air. Man, I'll tell you what. He is definitely, the ground caused it. Is it not a touchdown?
Nope. Ball never quite got to the white stripe, so second and goal, inches away. And Slayton leaps, and he's got his second touchdown here. 13-0 Mountaineers.
Pretty good following here. West Virginia fans have come out tonight to support him here, and you see Slayton gets his air, but most important part of getting air as a ball carrier going into the goal line is that nobody penetrates and the offensive linemen keep their guys down.
Pat McAfee out of the hold of George Shell for the extra point, and it's 14-0. 12:55 in the second quarter. Touchdowns numbers 8 and 9 on the year for true freshman Steve Slayton. Play. And this will be from the 2. Dominic Goodman. Upended at the 28. 89 yards on 8 plays on the second scoring march of the night for the Mountaineers, and White accounted for 66 of those 89. He went 32 yards on his only pass of the possession to Miles, and on his only run, he took it 34 yards. From that point, Steve Slayton took care of the rest. So down 14-0 now. Redshirt freshman from Maysville, Kentucky, Dustin Grutza. To get Vladar established on the ground. No go so far.
And so far, Dustin Grutza, he's completed a lot of balls, high percentage, but he's not stretching it. And at some point now at 14-0, you're not panicking. It's early in the game, but you're going to have to stretch. You're going to have to show that you can throw the ball down the field and get out of that little box that you're playing in.
1 yard for Vladar, another recruit from a highly successful program. 2 state championships here in Ohio Division I at Elder High School in Cincinnati. And it's time to Greg Moore, his backup. And again, it's stacked up. Very rough going between the tackles so far for the Bearcat running attack. Just a couple more with Pat Liebig and Keelan Dykes combining for the tackle. Cincinnati offensive coordinator Don Treadwell. One adjustment, he says, that they've had to make in practice, Craig, this year is to play more first-teamers versus first-teamers than would normally be the case, just to get a more consistent look at what game speed is going to look like for all these new faces.
The only risk there is that somebody gets hurt, but if you learn how to practice smart, it's a good thing to do it.
3rd and 6. And the pressure flushing Grutza out. And he spins away from the first hit and is going to have a first down to the 39-yard line. He got through the arms of Eric Wicks somehow. Not easily accomplished. Morty Ivy finally there to join in.
Wow, how did he do that? These are the basketball feet that you were talking about just a moment ago. This is that point guard. Having a pocket presence and the ability to make people miss down the field.
That's 39-yard line.
I'm going to guess. Now, we haven't seen every game West Virginia's played, but I'm going to guess not many people have done that to Eric Wicks this year.
No.
Taken that kind of hit, spun out, and gotten 5 more yards. It really looked like Wicks had set up a 4th down punting situation, and instead Grutza has that pass batted down by Kevin McLeod. Grutza again looking short, looking to the sideline. Really hasn't challenged anything in the middle between the hash marks with his arm yet.
Watch the fullback, 86, the big guy in the flat. See, right now, throw the ball. He's late. You know, you got to read it when you see it. You got to get rid of the football. So many times you see young quarterbacks, they get out on the pocket and they're reading and looking too long, and they're looking at receivers. They're not feeling what's being given to them, and then all of a sudden the guy jumps up and bats it down.
On 2nd and 10, he just got that one away from Mike Lorello, and it's caught by Derek Ross. Tackled by Anthony Mims at the 46. Ross, the most experienced skill player Cincinnati has. Senior from Marion, Ohio. Came in tonight 44 yards away from 1,000 for his career. One thing Grutz has done as well as anybody in the country is spread out the ball to his favorite receivers. His top 3 targets all within 1 catch of each other for the season coming in tonight, either 22 or 21 catches. For Ross, Selleck, the tight end, and Ernest Jackson, the other wideout. So here's a 3rd and 3. And well protected this time. The catch by Selleck, who knew exactly where he had to get for the first down at midfield. ESPN Game Plan features 15-plus college football games each week. So if you can't find the big game you want this Saturday, there's a good chance it's on ESPN Game Plan. This week's games, which can also be seen on ABC, include number 3, Miami at Wake Forest, Kansas at number 2, Texas, and number 1, USC against Cal. ESPN Game Plan is available on TV and online. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or go to ESPN.com, keyword Game Plan. So a 1st and 10 to Brent Selleck, his outstanding tight end, and knocked back on his feet, Matt Webster, the center.
Flags on the play.
You know, I wonder if the center moved. No.
Pat Liebig tried to sell that idea unsuccessfully.
Grutza just backed out, you know, to give a little direction there. And the big fella, 98, couldn't resist.
5 yards penalty.
Smelt the barbecue pit, had to make a run for it.
The 45-yard line.
So 1st and 5. Into Mountaineer territory now. Jones in motion. Greg Moore. That is a fumble, not caused by the ground, recovered by the man who dropped it originally, Greg Moore, and he'll lose about 3 or 4 yards, but at least maintain Bearcat possession.
Man, I like this guy running the football. You just notice that when he's running behind his face mask in the front of his shoulder pads, and you can't get to his legs. He's a strong, good runner here, and the ball just comes out. Absolutely, you saw the beanbag thrown. It was a fumble, but thank goodness he got up off the carpet and went and picked it back up and recovered it. I'd keep giving that guy the football.
That's a pretty good combination of power and quickness. Greg Moore at 225 pounds. Other than 5 yards per carry. 2nd and 4. And again, the swing pass. This is Bill Poland with his first catch of the night. And again, the ball dropped. And the Mountaineers come up with this one.
It is a fumble. Poland gets the ball on the outside, and a lot of traffic coming from the inside. He has 2 hands on it initially, but the left hand comes off. One of the defenders comes in with his right hand and just strips it right out.
That's Wicks.
Nice job of Wicks getting that hand on the football. And oh, I tell you what, well, was he Let's see.
That's
Ball's
the fumble.
out. It's out.
He's not down. It's recovered by Bobby Half.